joined here by Dean Promnick. You'll be fighting for the ABU middleweight title. Dean, how are you feeling before the fight?
Heerden, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. I think it's been a lot of preparation. I was saying to Matt this morning that it's only been 5 fights. It's been a year since pretty much just over a year since I turned pro. So it's kind of like all of this is coming to fruition now, and it's been in such a short amount of time. I feel like, I'm not saying I'm the only person, but I think I'm one of the very few that have done quite a lot in such a short space of time. I mean, 5-0 fighting for an ABU African title, the real ABU African title. They've just moved the fight to 12 rounds. I feel really fantastic and quite appreciative that it's coming to me at so early on in my career.
That's news. So the fight's been moved up and elevated.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about the change with 2 rounds?
Look, I haven't ever done 12 rounds. I'm going to be completely honest, but I'm the fittest I've ever been, and I'm very fit for 10 rounds. So look, 2 rounds, it is what it is. Overcome adversity, and I'm excited because at the end of the day, regardless of anything, Don John is a step up. He's going to be my hardest fight to date, and I'm excited. It's a challenge regardless. So whether it's 10 rounds, 12 rounds, Don John, it's going to be a hard fight. I'm excited. We prepared for the best version of him, whereas I think he didn't really prepare for the best version of me. I think he's underestimated me quite a lot. I don't know whether he has seen footage or videos or what and been like, I can take him in the ring. But I think a lot of people will say, mainly my sparring partners and everything, when you're in the ring with me, it's different. Similar, I would say, pressured like Canelo. You see him and he's somewhat unassuming, even though it's Canelo. But the moment you're in the ring with him, it's different.
What did you make of his? You've had a mutual opponent, and he compared your results to his results. What did you make of that whole comment?
To be honest, there's not really much I can say to that. If you're going to use knocking someone out in the first round versus knocking someone out in the second round as a measuring figure, then he must go back to school. Because ultimately, I mean, for example, he also mentioned Dylan Solomons, and all respect to Dylan Solomons. He was a training partner of mine for many years. But Dylan Solomons, his last fight, got knocked out in the first round, and Don John, I think, went the distance with him. So by his measuring stick, what is the guy that knocked Dylan Solomons out 8 times better than Don John? I don't see it that way. I know Don John possesses power. It's great. His strategy is to come forward and try and blitz me, and like he said, I use his words, he wants to blow my head off. He's going to try and do that in the first probably 3-4 rounds, and when he gasses, then I'm going to take advantage. I've got great defense, and I'm not scared to take a crack. So he can bring whatever he wants to bring, but ultimately I'm prepared for it.
And of course, he's been campaigning at super middleweights. You've been campaigning at middleweight, so you're very comfortable within your weight division. Do you see any difficulties with him? He made weights. I think that was a comment that you would have been.
To be honest, I don't know if he was looking for a round of applause. At the end of the day, we professionals. You shouldn't be coming here saying, I'm almost on weight. At the end of the day, and it's an African boxing union title. You're expected to make weight. I mean, I can sit here and tell you that I've been 74 kilos for the last month and a half because I'm coming off an 8-round fight. I didn't go out of the gym, but I'm not gonna, I've said it now, but I'm not gonna sit here and parade myself saying I'm expected to make weight.
So what are you expecting in this fight? Like in terms of fight results and how it's going to play out?
I know I'm going to get the win. I think it's going to be a very tough fight. I think it's going to be, everyone says it's always going to be a war, but I think with Don John it will be. I know he's got the power. I think I've got the tenacity, the ferocity, the speed, and I think my pressure is going to be a bit too much for him, and I think I'm going to make him tired. Look, I think the first couple of rounds are going to be really competitive, and then I think he's going to fizzle out, and I'm going to take advantage.
People always talk about sparring partners, but in your gym alone, you've got all guys in and around the same weight division. How's that preparation been for you?
It's been fantastic. I've been guys like Dylan Prosser, one of my really, really good friends. We always prepare together. This camp it was a little bit different, and the last camp, funny enough, so we haven't actually sparred much this year. Obviously, I've been preparing for Southpaws, so it's quite difficult. Also, you once you adapt to a southpaw, it's very difficult. You don't want to really switch back. So I've been sparring southpaws this whole year. I've had a great sparring partner. I don't want to mention his name, but really phenomenal guy. Super nice, and yeah, very good Eastern Cape style southpaw. So very tricky, different style to Don Juan, but very tricky and hard to read and hard to box. And I did very well against him, and we did a lot of sparring together. So I'm more than prepared for the southpaw. I'm not really worried about it, and yeah, in general, just excited.
Obviously, both you and your sister campaigning family and boxing, both undefeated, which is really cool. Just a shout out for her as well and her career so far.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm so proud of her. From watching her white collars, which was I think about 2 years ago. And you see this little girl like swinging for the air, and seeing her now, like especially not her last performance, the performance before, where I'll say this, like when you fight a better opponent, you box better naturally. So her last opponent wasn't really up to scratch, so I don't think she had her best performance because you trying to measure.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
also a bad performance can bring you down.
Exactly. So a better opponent brings out the best in you, and her opponent before that, she had a phenomenal fight. Like I was really proud of her, and I'm always proud of her. And I think what she's doing, she's got a step in the right direction. She's fighting August 9th, Women's Day. I'm very proud of her. It's going to be a packed card for her and for women and for Golden Gloves. I think it's the first time in South Africa, 3 female fighters on the same card, aside from some smaller shows here and there, but it's so super exciting for her. She's on the right path. She's doing well with Alan. He's got her head straight. So yeah, I'm proud of her.
Right, I want to quickly go back to your fight real quickly. What made headlines was Van Heerden's chirp of Calvin Klein.
Shout out Calvin Klein.
Yeah. I mean, it's all talk before the fight, right? Building up a fight, but of course, did it offend you in any sort of way?
No. To be honest, I actually wanted to send him a message and say thanks for calling me good looking. I don't know what kind of tune or anything it was. I took no offense to it whatsoever. Everyone was messaging me. Funnily enough, I think my sister took more offense than I did. She was messaging me saying, "Oh, I'm tuning him shit," and sorry about the swearing, but he doesn't faze me at all. Really, to be honest, I'm cool, calm, collected. There was nothing. I mean, even you could see we were civil here. So it's one thing, that he's quite loud when I'm not in the room, but then when he's in front of me, it seems like it's a different character. So yeah, it didn't faze me.
And if you had, obviously you guys were speaking, as you mentioned, when you got face to face, you had what was said there?
The official had said don't kiss because I think our noses were touching, and then I said, well, I know he thinks I'm pretty, and then he said something about if it doesn't work out, at least you could be a Calvin Klein model. So he just repeated what he said. Yeah.
So nothing major there.
Nothing new. No.
Do you have a direct message for him before you step in the ring?
No. I hope he has prepared as well as he says he has prepared, because I've prepared for the best version of him, and I just hope he hasn't underestimated me to the point where he's going to regret it.
Awesome. And then just lastly, I want to wish you all the best for the fight tomorrow night.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to send any thank yous, any shout outs to anybody?
Shout out to all my sponsors. I'm not going to name everyone. Shout out to them. Massive shout out to my team, Matt, all my cornermen that have flown down, Wade, Nick, who are away from their families. Massive shout out to my sparring partners, and then obviously a big thank you to my biggest supporters, my family, friends, my fiance Sarah Jane. That's all.